Hey, Clemente in Graham, North Carolina. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut prescription transition lenses for your Gucci 1066 color 4UP, which is the black, red, green. Of course, it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping, and I'm going to include that along with all the manufacturer's original packaging when I ship to you. But this is a smoking hot Gucci frame now. They got the red green cloth on the temple, the black dimpled rubber, and if you can see real closely, you've got the black green going around the front of the frame. So let me go ahead and pop out the original demo lenses, one of which says Gucci on there, and I'm going to put it into the tracing element of my edger, wake it up, and hit go. Hang on, let me program it for a second. Come on, wake up, computer, wake up. There we go. So everyone wants to know how the computer knows which shape lens to cut. This little stylus is going to pop up and go around and trace the shape of the right side of the frame before moving over and tracing the shape of the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Gucci frame and you will receive free, clear, single vision prescription lenses. Or you can get non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will be reimbursed for this purchase. So let's go ahead and enter your pupillary distance, which is 63 in both eyes. So right now it's programmed for 32.5. I'm going to put it at 31.5, which is half of 63. Let's go ahead and get your transition lenses ready. Now the frame sells for $275, and of course you get one free pair of single vision lenses. You paid $50 and $50 only to upgrade to transition lenses. Your right eye reads -2. I'm sorry, plano -2 at 005. In fact, let's go ahead and mark these so you've got them. That's your prescription. And let's see, grab a pen out of my pocket. This is your right lens, and that'll be your left. And of course, you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging to make sure you're getting authentic lenses. It comes with a little plastic laminate on the front of the lens to protect the lens from anything rubbing on it during shipping also. Just going to zero out my Marco 101 lensometer, put it in, find the optical, rotate your lens, and I did put it on 5, didn't I? Yes, it's on 5. Put that in there, find the optical center of your lens. Make sure everything is centered. I'm going to put 3 dots on there. 1, 2, and 3, and let's mark this one right. Let's do the same thing for your left lens. -75, -175 at 175. So I'm going to move that there. Take the lens out of its packet. Put it on -75. Rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center of your lens and put 3 dots on there. And let's go ahead and mark this one left. So let's take everything back down. Put your right lens in place. Now this is a block, as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting, so I need a double-sided adhesive sticker, of which 3M makes. So let me grab a couple of these. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to put it onto the block. Let's go ahead and do the other one too while I got it stuck to my finger. Pull the paper away to make that side, and you can even see the 3M on there. On the back is a little silver button. That's a magnet that's going to hold it in place in his arm. Get my stylus. We're at 31.5. That is, the blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. That dot gives me your optical center, and the other 2 dots on the outside tells me it's lined up perfectly. Hit that button. The arm's going to drop down and place the block onto your lens. Let's get the right lens out of the way. Take the paper off here. Get ready to do your left lens. Put that on there, get lined up. It automatically gives me your pupillary distance for the left. It mirrors it. Put the block on. Now, where's my little flashlight that I'm going to need? Keep that there so it doesn't get lost. The actual cutting wheel, this is the edger. Costs $40,000, weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy one. That way you won't need me anymore. You can cut lenses at home. But the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center with that channel, that little valley, that's what's going to put the V-shaped bevel on your lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So the magnet that I showed you earlier, that is right there, it's going to hold it in place in the chuck right there, as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know the machine well enough to call it chuck. I'm going to wake it up. I am not going to polish. I'm not going to put a bevel on the front of the lens, only on the back surface, and these are polycarbonate lenses. And let me hit start. The door closes, the clamp shuts, and then two white styluses are going to come and trace the shape of your lens to make sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And of course, it goes around twice, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel on the lens so the lens fits best inside the frame. I could move the bevel forward, I could move it backward so it fits best inside the frame, although with these thinner lenses you rarely have a problem with edge thickness. If you notice, there is water running in the background, but polycarb cuts dry where plastic and high-index plastic cut wet. These are Essilor brand lenses, and they are AS, which stands for aspheric. I'll get back to that. They are airwear, because these things by Essilor names polycarbonate lenses airwear because they're light as air. It is transition 7 gray. The GY stands for gray. AS simply means aspheric. Aspheric simply means not round. A spherical lens is completely round like a fishbowl and gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. These are much flatter. Now, your lenses are made out of polycarb. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from overexposure, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes that will never need to be reapplied, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that you have to reapply every few hours when you're exposed to the sun. And this is permanent and will never need to be reapplied. In just a moment, this door will open and we'll see if the lens will fit into your frame first time around. Dry the lens off so it is not slippery. I'm going to use my thumbnail just to scrape away any optical debris that might be there, also known as schwarf. As I like to joke and say, may the schwarf be with you, except it's not. I'm going to scrape it off and drop it on my floor. Okay, so I'm going to tuck your lens in at the outside corner using my thumbs. I push down at the nose, it snaps in perfectly. Let's go ahead and start getting the left lens done. I'm going to flip that over to L and hit start. Just like before, the door closes, that clamp shuts. And then again, the two white styluses are going to now trace the shape of the left side of the frame, making sure that the lens is large enough to fit. And of course, going around twice to measure the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so the lens fits best inside the frame. Just like so, where you have no edge thickness whatsoever protruding from the side of your frame. That is cut perfectly, the best cosmetic value possible. So let me go ahead and remove this block. Put that there, take the black rubber sticker off, dry the lens off without trying to remove the red dot which is there, so let me put that back on there. And let's go down here and inspect your lens while the left lens is cutting. So I'm going to put it back to the axis wheel to 5. You can see they're halfway between 0 and 10. Put your frame in there and let's check the power. Where's my flashlight? And I'm getting plano, which is 0. Check your astigmatism correction. And we're getting -2. The unit of measurement we use in the optical field is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, and goes in, starts at 0, which is plano, and goes up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, and so on. You actually need no magnification or minification in your right eye. Your prescription is astigmatic. You have astigmatism. Now, there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. It is not a disease, it is not an affliction. This first number makes everything the right size. The second number takes away fuzzy edges. That's why 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. Now you have 8 steps of correction. So we started at 0 and worked back way 8 steps, and that's why we're at -2. So if you started out at 0 and someone had borrowed $2 from you, you would have -2, and that's what we have there. Now think of it as the fine-tune knob, and we're going to turn that knob, a straight line of 0 to 180, we're only going to turn it to 5. Now for your left eye, you actually need 3 steps of minification, an additional 7 steps for astigmatism correction that will give us a total value when you add those two together of -250, and we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 175, starting at 0 at the left here. We're going to go past 90 and stop just short of the 180 at 175. Now you would think that 5 and 175 are very far apart, but they're not. When you have a straight line, one's at 5, the other one's at 175. So they're all both 5 degrees away from the 180 meridian. So let's go ahead and check your left lens, see if it'll fit into the frame, dry everything off. Let's go back over here. I'm gonna use my thumbnail real quick to wipe away the swarf. I'm gonna tuck the lens in at the outside corner using my thumbs, press down at the nose, it snaps in perfectly. Take the block off, pull the rubber sticker off, dry everything off again without removing that red dot. We're going to put the axis wheel at 175, the fine-tune knob. We're going to put it in. I'm going to check the spherical component, and I'm getting 3 steps. We're 1 tick mark away from 1, which is the 4th step, since we do everything in quarter increments. And again, when we check your astigmatism correction, we are at -250, which is exactly halfway between 2 and 3. So again, if someone had borrowed 75 cents, then they borrowed another $1.75, they would owe you $2.50, and that's where we're at 250. So let me check the time real quick. We're good, 8:45. So your pupillary distance is 63. I'm going to place my PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and when we hold it up to the left lens, we're getting 63. So that is made perfectly. Now one thing I want to do is clean the red dots off your lenses, and I also like to point out in every video that when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these will sit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and I'm no different, and I will show you that. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment, also known as the 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off, mine wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Flip them over, press down, no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly. What beautiful temples too. They say Gucci on there. So that is that. Now this is what your lenses look like clear. Let me go ahead and activate them. I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of ultraviolet light in my transitions box. And as you will see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now Clemente, pay attention, this is important. All transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they reach their final hue. Now the only time they will not work is if you're behind the windshield in a traditional car, because your windshield absorbs all the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays, so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun. That is why transition lenses don't get dark in a car. Now if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken. They're also temperature sensitive, meaning that they will get darker when it's 85 to 90 degrees and below than it does when it's above 90. When it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable, everyone's miserable when it's 100 degrees, and no one likes to work 100% in 100-degree weather. Now this is the first time they have been activated. That is the gray. Now Clemente, don't worry, they're going to keep darkening. Remember, we talked about this, don't you remember? So that is the first time, and again, they're going to keep getting darker and darker every day for the first 2 weeks. The other thing I want to show you while we have the time, this is your Gucci case, your Gucci cloth, your card of authenticity on the inside where you can register with Gucci. I will include instructions on not only how to care for your eyeglasses, but for your Gucci case and Gucci cloth, so they will last you for years. When you're not using it, you can store your case in your pocket or in a bag. When you do want to use it, it unsnaps, unfolds. Of course, hopefully you can see that, but you've got the Gucci emblem. That checkerboard they have is lined on the inside. It opens up. You can store your glasses on the inside, snap shut, and now you have a good hard case when you need them. And when you're actually wearing them, again, this will fold down, because you know if Gucci's going to bring the stuff, and then snap closed. Come on, snap, it's just new. But that's that. So if anyone has any questions about what I can or can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Clemente, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with Transitions Gray 7 for your Gucci 1066 color 4 UP in the 54 eye size. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.